Hello there and welcome. My name is Linda and this is my channel Linda T70. It's really good to have your company today. Sorry, bit of a rumble there. Thank you so much if you're a regular and one of my contributors, just somebody that just happens to watch me. Always good to have you with me. And if you just happened on my video today, I hope you like the content and maybe come visit me again. Thank you for all the previous comments about my last video, wishing me happy Christmas, happy New Year, or everybody that's done that, and I've tried to reply to you all. I hope I haven't missed anyone. I keep going back and rechecking, but if I have missed you, I do apologise, and all good wishes coming your way. And yeah, we'll see what we get up to in this coming year. So today's video, I keep saying to you, or do we fancy having a little bit of a chat about the WASPI situation? Now, for anybody who doesn't live in the UK, WASPI is an acronym, and it stands for Women Against State Pension Inequality. Had to write it down because I keep forgetting. So Women Against State Pension Inequality. Now, I don't know. I'm no expert on anything to do with pensions, believe me. This is just really my thoughts on a couple of things and my opinion. If you live in a different country other than the UK, just to let you know, we people, generally speaking, pay a national insurance contribution when you work, and this goes to the big pot of money that everything else seems to be paid for by. So our National Health Service, people's benefits. I mean, I think I'm right in saying all this. I might be wrong. I'm just a 71-year-old pensioner giving you my view. So it basically, this pot of money goes to pay a lot of things, and one of the things it pays is towards older people's state pension. Now, in the UK, there has always been, ever since pensions started probably, women would retire at 60 and men would retire at 65. Now, because people live longer, and for good reason, this has been rethought. I don't know which government came up with this idea, because we've had several prime ministers in the last few years, and now we're on to a different government as well. But it was so yes. So they deemed that we should all now have the same retirement age of 65. So women should be brought in line to men. Now, I don't have any issue with that at all. I think that's fair, because we are, generally speaking, living longer, wanting to be active longer. A lot of people don't want to work beyond their 60 or 65, whatever it may be, but a lot of other people do. So I don't have any problem at all with bringing the two ages into alignment, but I do have a bit of a problem of the way it was done. And it caught a lot of us on the back foot. Now, I've got to say up front here, although I have these opinions, I've been fortunate that I did have, so I suppose this is disclosure really, I did pay into my pension through work, and I did have a small work pension, which I get a little bit of money from each month, and I now claim my state pension because I'm now 71, so I'm well into the bracket of it. But there are an awful lot of people who are in a completely different situation. Now, the cut-off date for having your birthday where this affected you was, I think it was the 6th of April, which is the kind of end of the old, beginning of the new tax year, isn't it? So on the 6th of April, if you were born before the 6th of April 1953, you just got your pension at 60. Anyone who had their 60th birthday after that you were then in the new bracket. So basically you had to wait longer to get your pension. Now, as I say, I don't have any problem with waiting to get it when you're a bit older, but I think to have just one cut-off date, rather than it being sort of stepped, what's the word? You know, so you know, so people say, for example, if your birthday was between April and June of that year, maybe you got yours a bit sooner than the people who were, you know, the next 3 months. So the increments, if you see what I mean. Now, I know that that is happening up to a point, but because the thing I think with women who of my age bracket who have come unstuck really is a lot of people haven't had paid full national insurance contributions in the first place. I think there are a lot of women who I mean, I was one of them for a while, stayed at home and looked after children because, you know, in the sort of 60s and 70s, I'm not saying women didn't work, of course they did, but I would say generally speaking, an awful lot more women didn't have careers with young children. They would have, you know, maybe a little job to work around their family. Or they would just stay at home, and a lot of the time women didn't pay a full contribution and full national insurance contribution. You used to call it the married woman. They called it the married woman stamp or something. So you were kind of, once I suppose women of a certain age, probably a little bit older than me, would have said, well, my husband's paying a contribution and we're going to be together forever. You know, we'll die married, and so you know that'll be it. But it you know, in theory, but of course it doesn't always work out like that. Now. So I did get a letter telling me, I kept it, but I'd forgotten completely that I'd received this letter. I had a letter, it was, hold on, let me just find it. Yeah, I found the letter that I was sent to say that my state pension age was delayed, which is dated January 2012. So that was 1 year before I should have got my pension. Now, my state pension, that is. Now, that was okay. It was it was a bit disappointing, but I wasn't really too worried about it because I think I was in a fairly fortunate position. But I think about the ladies who didn't pay full, what we used to call married women's national insurance stamp. So it used to be a thing back in the 60s and 70s, I think, where if you were at home with your children, which was quite a common thing, women in those days, it was rare to have a career. If you worked, you would probably do something fairly trivial. My mum used to do cleaning. Not that that's trivial, but you know, it's not high paid, that's what I mean. You just try and fit something in around your the children's school hours. There was and of course it's a different world now, so things are different. But yeah, so I was I always paid the full stamp, and I was actually told, you know, I got a state pension statement as well. The thing I would suggest about this with anyone who's coming up to this sort of age, now I know we all are aware now that the state pension age has been moved, but when I got my letter, that was it, nothing else. And I just forgot, and I had to wait another 4 years. And as I might have said already, because I keep stopping the camera, I was in a fortunate position. I was with somebody who was still and is still working full time when I was when I was going to be a pensioner, so I had another income coming in, and I think a lot of people who were in my age group would probably have been widowed, possibly have paid that lower stamp, and expecting to get a pension and not being able to do that because, you know, they had to wait another 2, 3, 4, whatever it was years. And I was only just outside the April thing. You know, I'm only, my birthday's just a few months after that. I'm still a 1953 baby. But what I would suggest though is that you do you go onto the .gov website and you check if you're, I don't know whether it's too late for the age bracket of women I'm talking to now, and whether some of you still wouldn't know this, but if you are approaching your pension age and you've waited a while for it, go on and get a statement of your national insurance payments. What you do is you just go onto the .gov.uk website, and then it will look like this. You know, if you put in what you are looking for, national insurance contributions, you go onto this gateway thing. There's all the information you need. Is easy to do on your screen. You'll need probably, well, you would definitely need your national insurance number. I can't remember what else I needed, but that's the basic one. So you will be able to get somewhere, and you will get something. I printed off the most recent one I did, and it will look like this. So you can imagine this is a computer screen or your phone screen. It will look like that. So this is basically telling me that with these years, so from 2009 to 2010, I have paid a full year of national insurance contributions. And you can click on this on your screen and drill into it, and it will show you, give you more information. Now I actually, when I got to approaching my state pension age, I did this and I got that I hadn't paid full contributions. Now our accountant, who suggested that I had a state pension statement, he said, oh, you've got 30 something years, I forget, it was something like 35 years of payments, you won't have any problem, you'll get a full pension. But in fact, when I did this and went on to the gateway thing and checked mine, I had several years where I hadn't had a full pension, and those were the years when I was made redundant from my last job, between those years and claiming my pension. Now, I rang the pensions office about this, and I spoke to somebody who was really helpful, and they said what you can do is when you drill into these bits and you get the information up, there's an amount of money you can pay to bring your pension, to bring your payments up. So you can basically, in retrospect, you can pay your missing contributions to allow yourself to get the full pension, which I did, and he told me how much it would be, and and I was given an amount of about £1,400 for this, and I thought, oh, that's quite a lot of money. But he said to me, if you live claiming your pension for 3 years, you will have recouped that money, so it's worth doing it. It's a gamble, obviously. We don't know when we're going to die, do we? So, but I took the chance, and fortunately, I have. But I recently went on and rechecked this. This is the sheets of paper I'm showing you at the moment, and I think it was when the last state pension, we got the last rise, because we've had this triple lock thing where we've got our state pension has gone up every year for the last few years, and I thought, oh, I'm still a few pounds short of having the full, not very much, just a few pounds short of getting the full pension. So I went on again, and I again drilled into the ones where it said missing years. I don't know if I can find one here. Most of these are full years, as you can imagine. Oh yeah, so this particular one, oh, this was actually, I've got this one in, this was the year I had my first baby, 1981, so it goes right back. And you know, if you see year is not full, and you can go into this and it will tell you an amount that you can pay. As I say, I was told this by somebody, and you can catch up. Now, I did this again when I looked through a few months ago when, as I say, when the state pension came up. And the chap that had told me at the pensions office that I only had to pay this 1,400 quid was actually, he didn't tell me correctly, because he'd missed some of the years out. And I looked recently and I would have to pay 800 and something pounds for each missing year of the missing years I've got. But anyway, which I thought, I didn't realise that. I just paid one amount, which I don't think covered all of my missing years. That's what I'm trying to say. My £1,400 didn't cover all the missing years. It only covered a few. So that's why I'm still a few pounds short. But I worked it out, and I thought it's just to pay that sort of money, which would be a lot of money, to get a little, a few pounds a month. It literally is very small amount. It's just not worth it. So I'm quite happy with what I get. But it's something that maybe you can look into. So if you're not sure whether you're going to get this full pension, go onto the .gov website, gov.uk website. Excuse me, I'm just on cough. Yeah, sorry. Go onto the .gov website and have a look and check your years. Make sure you've got them all. And at least, even if you can't afford to make it all up, at least you'll be prepared for what you get. But as I say, I don't know whether I'm too late with this information. Maybe all the people that this would help might have already been scooped up, because obviously this fiasco's been going on for years. Yeah, so just getting back to the whole WASPI thing, of course we were promised, weren't we, by our previous government. It was, those poor women, yes, we're definitely going to get. I've watched a few items about it this morning, and they're all, we've got Starmer and the what's her name, the the deputy prime minister, before they were in government, telling us that yes, that we know we're also, it's dreadful what's happened to us. Yes, we'll definitely compensate them. And now we've got Liz Kendall. She's the Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, who came on just before Christmas saying, oh, well, we're really sorry, we do apologise, but you're stuffed really. We're not going to give you anything because there's not enough money there. But it kind of grinds my gears a bit, because, as I say, all the contributions that we make as working people, and my generation, those before and those after, it's all our pot of money. I mean, the government, as far as I'm aware, they don't have a secret room somewhere that's packed to the rafters with gold bullion that we can chip into and pays for everything. It's us that are generating all this money through our taxation. So I don't really see what the difference is of paying us. I mean, we were also, us WASPI women, we were told that we wouldn't be getting the billions of pounds, not each, of course, but in that we were owed, because of course a lot of our number have died since this has all happened. So we are a diminishing group of people on a daily basis, because as we're going, there's less people for the state to pay. And of course, the second you die, somebody has to let the pensions people know that you've died, because if they give you one payment after your death, you have to pay that back sharpish. I found this out with my dad, and I didn't know anything about people dying and what you did in those days, because he died when I was still in my 30s, and so my mum had to in grief transfer money back. Now maybe I'm the only person in the world that didn't know that, I don't know. I seem to be the only person in the world that doesn't know a lot of things, but yeah, so I think in the end they said we might get between £1,000 and up to 3,000 or something, not just a small amount. But you think, well, it's not great. Of course, we've not been given the fuel payment, the winter fuel payment this year. Now that's another thing. I think, if I know several people who are retirement age, and they are not short of cash, and they really don't need this payment. Now, I didn't get it this year. I've had it in the past. This year I didn't, and I think, well, okay, that's understandable. There's people in far more need than me. But of course, everybody and his wife has blundered in on that one and said, oh, well, we should all get it. And I think we should get it if we need it. I don't have any quandary with that. It's just making sure that people, the right people, get it, and that they get it, and they need all sorts of help. And that's another thing that all our national insurance payments go to, isn't it? We go to pay for benefits and things that people need. And I haven't got no issue with that at all. We've all got to help each other, haven't we? So anyway, this had all gone to the ombudsman, and that that we should get some sort of compensation, because it was causing. I wrote this down actually. It was causing unnecessary stress, anxiety, and unnecessary confusion. This whole situation. But I also think that the government saying, well, we don't have any money for this, but they find money to compensate other people, don't they? Which is ours. We're basically all paying for our own compensation. I tried to think of something that didn't sound too like, but there's been a big thing about the post office people who, that were using that computer system, and they were accused of theft. Dreadful business. Definitely need compensation. I, as a taxpayer, am more than happy to pay for that. There's been the other big thing, the health thing, which the people that contracted haemophilia or worse from contaminated blood products, pay them, of course, yes. And then we go to the other things, don't we? Like this car finance business that's going on. They're talking about it, aren't they? If you bought a car on not HP, we don't call it that anymore, do we? And you might have been sold something, told you were having something that, how can I put it? Basically, we weren't given the right information, and we ended up paying more than we should have done. So, and millions of us will have had cars that, I did. I had several cars I bought on that thing, where you, I forget what you call it. You buy a new car, and then 3 years later you get another new car. You send that one back. That thing. People will. Millions of us will be in that situation, and we'll all put in for that, and we'll probably have to, so we're all going to be paying for that compensation. So my point is, any compensation, and rightly so, people should receive it, whether it's a big thing or a not so big thing. But why are we different? Why are us old ladies different? And I think it's probably because we're old ladies, and they're hoping that we'll all die soon and they won't have to worry about us. Let me think. I've written down some notes. I'm just going to have a little check and see if I've included everything I was going to. Yeah, I think that was everything I was going to say. Now, I do want to just put in here, I'm not in any way trying to be, political or change anyone's mind. It's just a few thoughts I've had about this thing. And a lot of it might not apply, as I say, this checking your payments, your national insurance payments thing, that might not apply anymore, because I can't do the maths in my brain, and I don't know if everybody that was affected by this is now old enough to be getting their pension anyway. But it's just kind of I try not to jump on that bandwagon of, oh, well, we're all old ladies and old people and nobody cares about us, because I think, well, we are cared for and cared about, aren't we, in society? But when you have this sort of thing happens, actually you think, well, no. And I heard a lady say today on one of these things I was watching, she said, we are the people, we're the generation that's probably brought all these politicians, or most of them, up. And now we're being deprived of, because we are of the age we are, and we probably stayed at home to look after these people, we're missing out. And yeah, there's so many people living in such a lot of poverty. I'm in a fortunate situation. I'm sure a lot of you are, but there might be some of you watching this today, um, and it resonates with you. And I don't know what we can do about it really. The women, I did join this WASPI thing. I paid my subscription to it and everything, but the ones that go out there and stand on these sort of not picket lines, are they? They go stand out there with their banners, and they are the voice of the rest of us. They've done this for years, and I feel for them. They're the ones that really know what I don't really know what I'm talking about. As I say, I'm just giving you a bit of an overview of my experience, and to be it just seems that everyone else qualifies to be compensated for things, and none of us are going to get this £1,000. And you think, well, yeah, if they can find the money for everything else, it just seems a shame that they can't do it for us. And there's certainly the women in our group who have missed out on most of it. I don't include myself in that. I've been lucky enough to manage, but those women that this money could blooming well really help them. I mean, I'd certainly, if they were going to divvy it all up between all of us, and I was due for some, I mean, I'm not being a martyr here, but I mean, somebody that needs it more than me should be getting it, to be quite honest. So do those things if you haven't already, and if this affects you, go on to the gov.uk. There we go, the gov.uk page on the internet. Make sure you've got your national insurance number. Follow the instructions. You just have to put in the state, just search for state pensions, and all the information will come up, and just put the information in and see what you think, so you're at least prepared for things. But as I say, I was told, I don't know whether this has been the case with a lot of people, because something that happened in sort of a letter I got in 2012, I can't really remember. I can't remember much at all about anything, can I? But I think we've all been, as a group of women, I think we've all really been, messed about here by our government. I'm going to watch this back. I don't want to be too sort of I don't want to get, I'm not a political person or anything, although this does, like I say, it grinds my gears a bit. I don't want to be too controversial or anything, but I know that this will have affected a lot of you that watch me, and I'd just be interested to know your thoughts. So, as I say, to sum up, I don't have an issue with the age being brought into line. That's fine. I just think the way it was done, even though you got one letter the year before you were going to have your pension anyway, your state pension anyway, I think there should have been I think there should have been a TV campaign about it. Because it's affected so many people, there should have been some sort of one of these things that they put out. The BBC do it sometimes, don't they? They do enough things telling you what telly programs are coming on that you don't want to watch, but they don't give you. It's all public information, isn't it? So BBC and ITV could have certainly done. I know it's water under the bridge now, but they could certainly have put some stuff on the TV just to remind people this was happening and what they needed to do to check on their status and everything. I don't think that would have been money well spent, I think. Yes, and so as I say, I don't have an issue with the whole thing happening. I just think the way it happened, and the lack of communication with us all was dreadful. And then to all these women to go all through that campaigning for us, and we were told yes, we've been successful, there's going to be some compensation coming your way, and then for them to have the cheek to stand there and say, well, we don't have enough money for that. And you think, well, you have enough money for everything else, don't you? So anyway, as I say, I'm going to watch this back, and I hope it's not too, if I'm a bit factually incorrect, it's just me sitting here just making a few notes. So it's not this isn't a public service film, but it's just to make you maybe if you need to have a check on things, just do that. And I look forward to seeing some of your comments in the in seeing thinking what you hearing what you think in my comments. By the way, on this, I'm using my phone again today because honestly, my camera. But when I watched my last video back, I've just got this massive face in the screen now, and you can see all my crow's feet and everything. So I don't really know. I think I'm probably better off doing this with a bag over my head. But I don't know how good this will look. It keeps going really bright. I don't know what's happening. I seem to be cursed, don't I? I've been, by the way, on a different subject. I've been taking the Christmas decorations down today. That's a fairly joyless thing. Current husband's got all the boxes out of the loft and just put them places where I'm just falling over them. But I've done this room now and had a little tidy in here. So this is that bedroom, the bedroom that I do my videos in now. Our bedroom's clear. The hall, stairs and landings all clear. Kitchen's clear. I've just got to take the garlands down. I've taken the trees down. I've just got to do the garlands in the living room, which I'm kind of dreading, but the dogs are out on their walk with their dog walker today, so I'm going to go down and do that when I've watched this back. I hope this is of interest. As I say, please, you know, don't pick me up on anything. I mean, by all means, pick me up on things I've said wrong. I'm not pretending I know loads of stuff about this. It's just my observations, really, and I just think it's a bit rubbish, really, for us old ladies, because you know, we've been good mums and good workers and good everything, and we just sort of get kicked in the teeth, don't we? I'll see you very soon. Obviously, this is going to go out tomorrow, so that's Friday. I will see you on Tuesday, hopefully with another video or something a bit, perhaps a little bit more light-hearted. You never know. I might think of something, or something funny might have happened to me. So take good care of yourselves. I will see you very soon. And yeah, if I haven't already said this to you because you're watching me for the first time, Happy New Year to you. So see you soon. Bye bye.